Okay, we need to change gears. The EPA made a major announcement in North Carolina this week. Tell us about it, Travis.
Yeah, that's right. They announced a new multi-billion-dollar effort on environmental justice. Michael Regan, the head of the EPA, used to work in Governor Cooper's administration, came down for the announcement. Now, what is environmental justice? Well, it's the opposite, quite frankly, of environmental racism. It's the recognition that race and poverty play and have played a role in where we put things, where landfills go, where pollution is dumped, where chemical plants are built. And Regan picked Warren County because in the early 1980s, North Carolina discovered that a bunch of people had been dumping oil laced with PCBs, which had already been banned by the federal government, along 210 miles of roadway in North Carolina. This stuff can cause cancer. And so they scooped up the soil and they decided, well, we're going to deposit this in Warren County. And there were protests. The UNC library says this is the first time in U.S. history that people were arrested.
This is 82, the protest.
1982. Something like 500 people arrested. UNC library says it's the first time anybody was arrested for protesting pollution. Warren County was 64% black at the time. I don't think that's a surprise to anyone.
I think that was standard practice.
A 2017 study found black Americans nearly 4 times as likely to die from exposure to pollution than white Americans. So what Regan came down and announced in Warren County, what they're doing is they're combining several existing offices at the EPA into one office focused on environmental justice. It's going to have 200 employees. And this is the EPA saying that this is now going to be part of their decision-making process, that environmental justice is elevated as an issue. There are also going to be grants, but here's a quote from Regan. When you look at the way EPA does this risk analysis to determine the level of stringency of protecting communities, we will take into account communities and how they have been impacted over time. I think that's bigger than the money.